Francois de Mache and Bass Reeves, two names that are noteworthy in this fragrance review. The latest collaboration between Rich Hansen of Rich Man Shaves and Pete Hendrix of Hendrix Classics & Co. is American Badass. It is a clone of Colonia Oud by Aqua Di Parma, released in 2012. I used to have a 10 milliliter bottle, about twice the size of this guy here. And I absolutely loved it. And it's one of those ones that you want to buy again, but the cost of niche fragrances, designer fragrances, and then just being a frag head and wanting so many different ones, I just never have bought another thing of it. So I'm really excited to see that Pete and Rich have brought this to us. I bought a soap from another soap company that was in a clone of this, and it wasn't done very well. There's a couple out there, and I've only tried the one. One that I want to try is Denton Magic's Colonia Oud, and I really love the label on that one. I can't speak to it or any others. I had the Distinguished Gentleman or something like that from Vanulet. It wasn't done well. This is an exact clone of what I remember Aqua Di Parma's Colonia Oud being. And that is what we should expect every time we see Rich Hansen's name on a Pete Hendrix label. Pete is the guy behind Hendrix Classics, but Rich Hansen is a frag head like myself. The top notes in this are Calabrian bergamot and Italian orange. Got my Boba Fett mug here. My awesome brush from Hendrix Classics & Co. My Rodak bowl. In the middle, we find oud, agarwood, amyris, and coriander. The base is where this really kicks in. Leather, atlas cedar, sandalwood, musk, and Indonesian patchouli leaf. You guys, this is a banger. It is rich. It is, no pun intended with Rich Hansen, it is refined. It is agar forward. If you love illustrious oud, if you liked Molnair from Hendrix Classics, or if you loved Molnair from Hendrix Classics, this is a must own. If you did not like illustrious oud or Molnair from Hendrix Classics, this might be worth passing on. But for those of you who love an oudy fragrance, and remember, past videos, we've decided that is a word, you're going to love this. Francois de Mache is one of the most famous noses. A perfumer is known as a nose in the fragrance community. Is one of the most famous noses in the entire fragrance world. 90% of Christian Dior's success, you might know them for Sauvage, has to do with him. He's created over 207 different fragrances. All of them, virtually all of them, have been huge successes. From Fahrenheit, Midnight Rose, Midnight Passion, Dior Homme, Santal Noir I wrote down. And then Fève Délicieuse. Don't forget that one, Tobin. Pete has already done, whether he realizes it or not, a fragrance that Francois did, and that was found in the Christmas in NYC that he did with Pasteur Pharmacy this past Christmas. That is a banger fragrance. That is not anything like this one. So if you have that, that is totally sweet, totally different than what this is. This is a date night fragrance, a heavy fragrance. One that I think, if you love Hendrix Classics and what Pete has been doing, you need it in your den. The only exception would be is if you did not like Molnair. The fragrance strength on the soap is about a 4, and the splash is somewhere around a 5. You get decent projection out of it. I have the splash on the back of my right hand. And I also have, I believe it's an extrait, or it might be an EDP. Pete sent this to me. I did not pay for the soap and splash, and I did not pay for this. They were sent to me for review by Hendrix Classics. Now, one of the beauties of it, I'm telling you, if you guys have experienced Pete's other fragrances, you know that when he does a clone, and when you see that Rich Hansen name on there especially, that you're going to get something that is either virtually identical or is identical to the real thing. Pete does not spare any money when it comes to sourcing the most premium fragrance oils in the world today. He doesn't. Now, that hurts his profit margin. I can tell you that right now without knowing that since Pete is buying the premiums, he's not making as much as these other companies. And I'm just going to state a fact. I'm not putting anybody down. I'm just stating a fact that a lot of companies, chintz, they cut corners on the fragrance because fragrance oils are like liquid gold and they're very expensive. Very, very expensive. And so one of the ways that you make up your profit margin is basically you have 4 or 5 different qualities of fragrance oil that you can buy to put into your soaps that are already pre-made. The lowest of the low, the second, third, fourth, and fifth, working your way up in cost, but they smell more premium, they smell less synthetic, they last longer, all the things that you're looking for. And the only way to really get the real thing is to get up here into the 4th or 5th, but up in here is where it's super duper expensive. And so with some of these places, Sterling, right? Sterling does things great, but Sterling is $13.65 for a 5.8 ounce soap. That is one of the beauties of Sterling, is that with Sterling, we still get some really great fragrances. But I've seen some of these artisans that I won't do reviews of, that they cut corners with their fragrance oils. That one that I was talking about that I tried before, it was very cheap fragrance oils. And that is just a fact. I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm always going to give it to you guys straight. And there's a lot of people in the world today that cut corners, and you most often get what you pay for. That's just a fact. Bass Reeves was an ultimate badass. Did I already say a runaway slave, a gunfighter, a U.S. deputy marshal, father of 11 kids? The dude wore many hats. This fragrance is a fitting, I think, tribute to a guy like him, because this is, they label this as masculine, or as unisex. This leans very masculine to me. I'm not saying it's like the most masculine fragrance out there, but think Molnar with a little bit more of a leather presence and more oud forward. This isn't just an oud fragrance. There's so much more going on. You have this citrusy opening, and it is a beautiful, bright, citrusy opening. And then as you get into the amyris and the oud and the coriander, it opens up into that base. This is going to last you all day, a good 8 hours. You put it on, you shave in the morning. People are easily going to be able to smell it at lunchtime. And by the time you're going home at the end of the day, this fragrance should still be lingering. He will have a 2-ounce bottle of this stuff available for $40. The real thing is going to cost you 3 times that amount, maybe 4 times that amount, depending on where you buy it. 2 ounces is a giant bottle. I purchased a few of Pete's EDPs. This is a extrait right here of Year of the Dragon. That's a 2-ounce bottle for $40. The real thing would cost you $200 or $300 to get a bottle this big. That's a giant freaking bottle. 2 ounces. Some giveaways. Ticket to Ride. We kicked off a $15 giveaway. Look at the atomizer on this too. In case you guys haven't seen it, Pete, everything he does is luxury and top notch. He does not put cheap atomizers in his products. This is going to smell so good. That's a beautiful atomizer. Take it from a frag head. This one right here, I'm so impressed with this. Pete isn't, as of right now, bringing these to market. He needs to. If you guys talk to Pete, tell him, hey, we want those 5 milliliter EDP bottles that Tobin had. Tell him that, for real. Tell him, hey, work it out. Make it happen, Pete. Scott Martin, you won the first $15 gift card of May from Hendrix Classics. That's courtesy of Pete. $15 at the Hendrix Classics website. Contact me. I have that code. Let's kick off a second one, but let's not stop there with giveaways. Let's do another giveaway. This one's going to take a minute. Stick with me. Steady now, Tobin. No, not you. You just stay seated. This is fucking bad. This is badass. Okay? This is badass. This is American badass. This is frag head badass. Pete, and like, I'm not kidding, I'm not exaggerating. This is how I really feel about this. A couple of months ago, Pete came up with this idea. And we talked about it. I was like, that was the most brilliant, revolutionary way of doing samples I've ever heard of. I think soap samples are great for people who have never tried a base. But you guys may have heard me say before that when it comes to fragrances, that a soap is like a compass. It's pointing you in the direction that the nose, the perfumer, wants to take you, but it's never going to get you there. And that's because you have this long laundry list of other ingredients that are going on, butters, fats, oils, all these other things going on, that it will never be true to what the fragrance is. Rarely does it ever happen. Like very rarely. And then you have the splash, and the splash will get you very close, but there's still other things going on. And the concentration isn't as high because of frag burn and other things. To truly experience a fragrance, you have to have the EDT, the EDP, the parfum, or the extrait, something like that. These little bags right here, Pete has for $4. I've already opened this one. I paid for these. For $4, you get 4 of these. And overseas, he will ship these anywhere in the world. For $5, he will ship these to anywhere in the world. So Lee Hazley, straight up, $5, he'll mail it to you in Thailand. Sieg Solo, Greenland, $5. Western Europe, down under in Australia, $5. That is just straight up $5 shipped. You don't have to buy anything else. You can go to Hendrix Classics website right now, spend $5 down in Australia, and Pete's going to mail these to you. $4 in the States. Right here, I have one that's yet to be released. I'm not going to name it. It says Candle something or other, and that's all I know. So that's a future release. I have Rise of a New Era, Taxman, and then I already opened Ticket to Ride. With the giveaway, I'm going to pay for 2, and this is anywhere in the world you can enter. $5 is all it's going to cost me to mail one of these to Lee Hazley or anyone else. So the max I'm going to be out is $10. But I am doing this because I want people to see just how awesome. I'm looking at the sun shining on the wall over there. I want you guys to see just how revolutionary this is, because I am so excited about this. I really am, because as a frag head, one of my biggest complaints has been getting affordable EDT, EDP samples, and this is the most affordable way to do it. Pete drops them inside a piece of paper, basically the receipt, and then puts it in an envelope and mails it to you. So I'm going to do 2 of these. Down the road when Pete's ready, but you're going to enter in this video. So 5 people for these guys here. I know, that's why I took a deep breath at the beginning, trying to word this right. The first 2 winners, I'm going to mail these out. I will purchase these from Pete and mail them out to you immediately. The next 3 will wait until Pete is ready, but you're entering today. And when Pete is ready, we're going to mail them out to you. Now, Tobin, why are we waiting on Pete to be ready? Because what Pete wants this sample program to be, but what it is not yet at the time of recording this on May 11th, is, and this fragrance, American Badass, drops on the 15th, Wednesday the 15th. What he wants this to be is when you purchase one, you're going to get the 4 yet to be released fragrances. So you won't be getting a sample of something that is currently out there. Now you might be able to, talk with Pete and work that out. But what he wants the program to be, what he wants it to be, is if you were to purchase one, that the next 4 fragrances that he's going to release, you will get. And so you will know before the fragrance is ever released what it is that he's releasing. Now, you won't get the exact name, like on here for Ticket to Ride. It just says TR. So, it's going to be a little cryptic. But there should be like 5 or 10 uses in one of these, depending on how you do it. You can put a paper clip on it to close it. My wife got me a bunch of these alligator clips. Just peel the top, and then in there is a ton of juice, you guys. And just like 1-2 sprays of this is all you need for all day. That's an extrait, and it's so concentrated. And it says on here whether or not it's an EDP or not. So Taxman is an EDP. So just be clear, I'll draw 5 names for this. The first 2 names that I draw, I will purchase, and they will be mailed out in a short matter of time to you. The next 3 will wait until Pete tells me he's ready, and then Pete will mail those out to you, and those will be for yet to be released fragrances. The first 2 winners, you're going to get whatever Pete has on hand. I've said it before, I'll say it again, and I truly mean this. With my channel, I am going to support small businesses that I want to support. A big appeal for me and this community is supporting small business. If this was a big business driven community, I would not be a part of it. I would not own as many things as I own. One of the biggest appeals besides fragrance and the shaving for me is supporting small business. I'm passionate about what Pete Hendrix is doing. I've gotten to know Pete really well since October, and I really think that if you haven't ordered one of these yet, you're missing out. Have you ordered one of these? Did you think you got a great freaking deal? Because I think this is revolutionary, and I don't know any other word for it. I'm at 15 minutes. I'm going to quit rambling right there, except for one more thing. Let's kick off the other $15 gift card for Hendrix Classics. Pete has given me 2 a month. We announced the winner of the first one. That was Scott Martin. Congrats again, Scott. Thank you, Pete. For the samples. For the gift card, put gift card. And with all of it, thanks, Pete. Gift card, samples, thanks, Pete. If you want to enter, if you just want the samples, thanks, Pete. Get it, got it, good. If you put thanks, Pete in there, I'm going to enter you into it at the end of the day. Okay, so I'll contact you. If you don't want the samples, how about that? Let's do it that way. Thanks, Pete, in the comments. 6 winners. 1 is a $15 gift card. 5 are the EDPs. Does it make sense to you? It makes sense to me in my mind. We're going to have 6 winners. Thank you, Pete. I'm paying for the first 2. Pete's paying for the other 3. Anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. Take care, guys. It's the little big things. One of the little big things is for me trying to figure out a way to make this easier on myself. I hope it makes sense. I gave it some thought, I promise. This is a banger fragrance, like for real. Take care, guys.